Welcome to the deep dive. You sent us some really interesting stuff all about this tech called Sportsbox AI.
Mm-hmm.
It's apparently changing how golfers, look at their swings.
Yeah, it's pretty fascinating tech.
So our mission today is really to get to grips with what it is, how it works, both the sort of big studio version and the one you can just use on your phone.
Right.
And there's this great story about Bryson DeChambeau using it right before he won the U.S. Open in 2024.
That's the hook, isn't it? How a top pro used it.
Exactly. And we think even if you're, not Bryson, this could offer some real aha moments for your own game. We're working from material provided by Henrik Jentsch, who's the director over at Golf Academy 360 Degrees, which is powered by Sportsbox.
Okay, good source. Let's dive in.
So first off, it's kind of strange when you think about it. Golf tech can measure like everything about the ball and the club, right?
Absolutely. Speed, spin, launch angle. The works. We drown in that data sometimes.
Yeah. So why has it taken so long to get that same kind of a detailed measurement for the body? How the golfer is actually moving?
That is the interesting question, isn't it? It feels like, I don't know, a bit of an obvious gap now that someone's filling it.
And that's Sportsbox AI. It's technology that uses 3D modeling to track your whole swing.
Mm-hmm. And it measures it, gives you numbers. Plus, it apparently plugs into some launch monitors, too.
Right, so you get the full picture body moves, creates club impact, leads to ball flight.
Finally connecting the dots.
It still seems odd it didn't happen sooner, with cameras being so good now.
Yeah.
So this 3D modeling, what does that let us see that, just watching a video doesn't?
Well, think about regular video. It's flat, right? 2 dimensions from one angle.
Okay.
3D modeling takes that video or multiple inputs and basically rebuilds your swing in like a virtual 3D space.
Ah, okay, so you spin it around.
Exactly. You're not stuck with just the camera angle you shot. You can look from above, below, face on, down the line. Any angle, really. And crucially, you can get precise measurements, joint angles, how much you sway, rotation, in all 3 dimensions.
Gotcha. Much more comprehensive than just eyeballing a 2D video.
Way more. It gives you a proper mechanical breakdown.
Which brings us nicely to that Bryson DeChambeau story for the U.S. Open. This wasn't just theory. This was, well, him using it to win a major.
Yeah, it's a powerful case study. Apparently, just before the Open, he was working with Dana Dalquist, and he felt his ball flight wasn't quite right. He wanted objective data.
Not just feel.
Exactly. So the Sportsbox team went down to Dallas, gathered a ton of swing data, and here's the kicker. They mostly used iPhones.
Just iPhones, seriously?
Yep, just standard iPhones. It really says something about how good phone cameras are now.
Wow. Okay, so they captured all this data.
Mm-hmm.
What did they find? You mentioned a sway gap.
The sway gap. That was the key metric that popped out. It basically measures how much Bryson shifted laterally, side to side during his swing.
Okay, like weight shift.
Kind of, yeah, but measured very precisely. And the data showed that his best swings, those powerful push draws he wanted, consistently happened when his sway gap was in a tiny specific range, between -1.7 and -2.2 inches.
Wait, -1.7 to -2.2 inches? That's less than half an inch difference?
Incredible, isn't it? Such a tiny margin. And when his swings were off, when he wasn't getting that push draw, his sway gap was closer to -1 inch.
So a difference of maybe half an inch, maybe a bit more, completely changed his shot shape at that elite level.
That's what the data suggested. It just shows how, these tiny movements we can't even really see properly with the naked eye or even on standard video.
Yeah, you'd never spot half an inch difference reliably.
No way. They can have huge effects. And this is where Sportsbox comes in, right? It moves beyond just feel or what a coach thinks they see.
It gives you the number.
It gives you the number. Coaches have talked about weight shift forever, but this tells you exactly how much, turning something subjective into, well, an objective target.
That's a big shift in approach.
Huge.
And they didn't just measure it once, right?
Yeah.
The story goes, he used this data constantly during the U.S. Open week.
Yeah, every practice round, every warm-up.
Yeah.
They were actively monitoring that sway gap number, trying to keep him dialed into that optimal range, like having a biomechanical target.
It makes you think, doesn't it? How many golfers, like at any level, feel something's wrong with their swing but have no idea what?
Oh, all the time. That's the classic frustration.
And Bryson's story shows it could be something incredibly small, something you just can't perceive normally. So maybe for someone listening who films their swing and still feels lost, This 3D thing gets to the root cause,
Yeah.
maybe. Looking at the body, the engine, not just the ball flying off somewhere.
Exactly. It's like having that objective set of eyes or maybe a coach in your pocket, highlighting those tiny invisible things that make all the difference.
Okay, let's dig into how it actually works then, starting with the big setup, the studio version.
Right, studio version.
Yeah.
This looks like it's aimed more at, coaches, academies, or maybe serious golfers with a home sim setup.
Okay.
The core seems to be a dedicated high-speed camera hooked up to software on a computer, and it has two main modes, which makes sense: assessment and training.
Like a typical coaching process, assess first, then train.
Pretty much. So assessment mode, you hit balls, the high-speed camera captures the swing, it saves everything automatically, catalogs it.
Which is handy for tracking progress.
Definitely. Then it creates the 3D model, and you can play back the model and the video side by side, slow motion, all that, and it just spits out a ton of data, loads of different metrics measured.
Yeah, I could see how that might be.
Yeah. A lot.
Data overload potential.
For sure, if you're not used to it. But it sounds like they try to help with that by providing benchmarks. You can compare your numbers to, say, a Tour Pro average.
Ah, okay. Like that pelvic sway example Henrik mentioned. You see your number, you see the pro's number, gives you context.
Right, gives you a target or at least an understanding of where you are relative to highly skilled players.
And the analysis itself looks really deep. You can pick which metrics to focus on, jump straight to impact, or the top of the backswing.
Scrub through it frame by frame.
And view it from all those different angles, face on, down the line, target view. Even weird ones like bottom up or top down, all from one camera.
Yeah, that's the power of the 3D model. Once it's built, the software can generate any view. It saves needing, multiple cameras perfectly synced up.
Big advantage. So it synchronizes the video and the 3D model perfectly.
Exactly. Much easier to see how the movement in the model relates to what you actually look like on video. But that's just the assessment side. The training mode is where you, train.
Right. Making changes so you can focus on specific things.
Yeah, you can zero in. They have preset training drills, or you can make your own custom ones. The key seems to be setting a target range for a metric.
Like the pelvic sway again. Set a goal range.
Exactly. Then you practice, maybe try different feels or drills, and you get instant feedback. Did you hit your number? Are you in the zone?
Ah, I see. Immediate feedback loop.
Precisely. And again, it emphasizes those really small measurements. Henrik said you might not see a half-inch sway difference on video.
Right.
But Sportsbox measures it, so your practice becomes much more targeted, focusing on the little things that actually matter for consistency or power. You try something, see the data, know immediately if it worked.
Okay, the studio version sounds powerful, very detailed, but maybe a bit much for the average golfer just looking to improve. That's where the mobile version comes in, I guess.
Yeah, the mobile version seems like the real game changer for accessibility.
Because it's the same core tech. Right, 3D motion capture.
Exactly the same underlying tech, apparently. But it uses the high-speed cameras already in your smartphone.
Which are getting ridiculously good.
They really are. So no expensive dedicated camera setup needed. And Henrik, the presenter, even said he uses the mobile version like 80% of the time just because it's so portable.
That's telling, isn't it, if the Pro uses the mobile version that much?
It speaks volumes about its practicality. You can use it indoors, outdoors, on the range. Just need a little tripod for your phone. They mentioned a GPOD, but any tripod would work.
Oh, okay. And you can shoot face on or down the line.
Yep. Either view works. And it still generates the full 3D model, gives you all the measurements, builds up your swing library so you can track changes.
That is accessible. Getting that kind of biomechanical data anywhere, anytime. On the range, during a round.
It really is like having that coach in your pocket they talk about.
So who's this really aimed at then?
Yeah.
And the big question, what does it cost?
Well, it seems like the two versions cover a lot of ground. Coaches obviously can use the studio or the mobile app with specific coaching plans. Then individual golfers, students, people working on stuff at home or the range, the mobile version seems perfect for them. Or even someone really focused on one thing, like speed training or fixing wrist angles.
And the pricing reflects that split.
It does. The mobile app has a free starting point, which is great. Lets you try it out, record a few swings, see the data.
See if it clicks for you.
Yeah. Then the premium subscriptions are actually, well, surprisingly cheap. Under $10 a month gets you unlimited swings and recordings.
Wow, that is accessible. Makes it a no-brainer to try for most golfers, I'd think.
I would agree. And then the studio version, that's the bigger investment, starts around $5,000, goes up if you add more cameras, clearly for pros, academies, serious fitting centers.
Okay, so for the individual listener, the mobile app is the obvious starting point. Try it. See the data for yourself.
Seeing is believing, right?
Hmm.
Especially with this kind of data.
Yeah. You could see studio setups becoming pretty standard in coaching bays eventually, though.
Well, I think so. But for now, the mobile app puts incredible power in the hands of the regular golfer.
Okay, so let's wrap this up. Key takeaways. Sportsbox AI is bringing detailed 3D body measurement to golf. Finally.
A new level of insight, yeah.
Yeah.
We saw the potential impact with the Bryson story. Tiny changes, big results, proven by data.
And crucially, there's the powerful studio version, but also that very accessible mobile app using just your phone. Different tools for different needs and budgets.
Offering objective data to actually understand your swing, not just guess. It goes beyond what your eye or even standard video can catch.
Which ties back to that listener wanting quick insights for potential improvement. This gives you concrete numbers to work with. So final thought then. If we can now capture and analyze body movement in such 3D detail for golf, what else?
Yeah, where else could this go?
Could this kind of objective motion capture transform other sports? Or what about like physical therapy, rehab, anywhere precise movement is key?
It really opens up possibilities beyond just hitting a golf ball better, doesn't it? Definitely something to think about, the broader implications of this kind of tech.
Absolutely. Food for thought.